This was a very interesting draft night, and we got to talk about this. First, let's talk about the big trade. The Oklahoma City Thunder trade Serge Ibaka to the Orlando Magic for Oladipo, Ilyasova, and the rookie that they drafted tonight. His name is Sabonis. Terrible trade for the Magic. I don't know what the Magic are doing. Maybe they're going into rebuilding mode again. I have no idea what they're doing, but this is the same organization that lost Shaquille O'Neal in free agency because they didn't think that he was worth the max contract. Even though this young Shaquille O'Neal led them to the NBA Finals, took out Michael Jordan's team, they didn't believe that he was worth the money and they let him leave. All that happened with the Lakers with Kobe, that wouldn't have happened if the Orlando Magic would have paid him the max money. Penny Hardaway would have stayed. Who knows what would have happened? But the Magic are used to making new moves. This is a great trade for the Thunder. Oladipo, he's a good player. He has some flaws, but playing on the Thunder is really going to help him out because he's going to be open. He doesn't have to create his shots anymore. He's going to be wide open playing with Durant and Westbrook. This is, of course, if Durant decides to stay. So his game just got so much easier. He can work on his jump shot. He can work on his defense. And he's athletic. So this is a very good move. Then they get a big man that can kind of replace Ibaka. Not really, but they get a young big man, Sabonis. And then they also get Ilyasova, you know, another player you throw in there. So they get 3 players for the price of 1. Ibaka, his contract was going to be up next season anyway, so they get something in return. Just a silly trade for the Magic. So now let's talk about the draft picks. The 76ers selected Ben Simmons, number 1. The Lakers get Brandon Ingram, number 2. I actually think that Ingram is better than Simmons. Just looking at them right now, looking at their highlights, the way they played in college, I feel like Ingram is the better player. He's got a jump shot already. He's athletic. Yes, he's skinny, but he's young. Everybody's skinny when they're young. Michael Jordan was skinny when he was young. Kobe was skinny when he was young. All these players are skinny. Kevin Durant, if that's the only flaw that you have, you're skinny, you can easily change that. You can easily bulk up. I myself used to be skinny. I used to be the skinniest kid on the block when I was in middle school and high school, and now I'm 210 pounds. And the highest I've ever been was 220 pounds. So it's easy to put on the pounds, put on the muscle. All you got to do is change your diet and change your workout plan. You will put on muscle, you'll get stronger. But he's already got the jump shot, so improving his jump shot is going to be very easy to do because he already has a good jump shot. And then he can work on his other flaws as well. But Ingram, he has good dribbling, he's athletic, he has good defense and length. I think he's better. But what do I know? Maybe Ben Simmons, he turns out to be a beast. I don't know, maybe he does. So we'll just have to see. But the 76ers, they have so many big men already. They've got Embiid, they got Nerlens Noel, they've got Okafor. Obviously, they're going to make some trades, it looks like. But I think they would have been better off taking Ingram. And the Lakers are extremely lucky that they got Ingram. He is much better than Simmons, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's always a guess. It's always a gamble. Nobody knows when it comes to these rookies. They showed tonight that in 1996, Allen Iverson was selected first overall. And he turned out to be a future Hall of Famer, one of the best players ever. Ray Allen was selected, I think, number 5. Kobe Bryant was selected 13th. 12 teams didn't think that Kobe Bryant would turn into the Black Mamba. You just don't know who's going to develop, who's going to have that work ethic, who's really going to improve their game from season to season. You just don't know. So Ben Simmons, hey, maybe he turns into a beast and he works on all these flaws like his bad jump shot. He improves his defense. It's possible. So we just have to wait and see. Now it's time to talk about the Boston Celtics. They definitely had the worst night out of everybody. The Celtics had all these draft picks. They were stockpiling draft picks, hoping that they could turn them around and produce players. They made the playoffs this year, so they're not trying to rebuild. They're trying to add something to get to that next level. They're trying to get a player like Boogie, DeMarcus Cousins, or Jimmy Butler. They're trying to trade for somebody like that, somebody established. They have 3 draft picks, and with the 3rd pick, they take Jaylen Brown. Now, Jaylen Brown is a good player, but that's not the kind of player that you're going to be able to trade and get one of these players that you've been fiending for. And Celtics fans on social media, nobody was happy with the selections. They took some guys from overseas. Clearly, they were not able to get any of the deals to go with the draft picks. So what happened was they just said, all right, let's just draft and hopefully get some players that fit into our system and that we can develop ourselves. That's what happened. I know a lot of people are disappointed. They're wondering, why didn't they take Chris Dunn and then try to trade him with the Bulls for Jimmy Butler? Because they know that the Bulls, for whatever reason, they want him. They got rid of Derrick Rose and now they want this rookie. But the reason they didn't do that is because they already talked to them about that. The Celtics definitely got on the phone and said, hey, if we draft him, then will you trade us Jimmy Butler? We'll give you some other pieces, maybe some other draft picks, blah, blah, blah. They probably offered that to the Bulls and the Bulls said no. So that's why they said, let's just draft and hopefully these guys fit our system and we can develop them ourselves. Another interesting pick is at number 4, the Phoenix Suns select Bender. This is an international player being taken very high. Number 4. Some people are trying to be optimistic. They're saying, hey, what about last year with Porzingis? He was selected by the Knicks early, and look at how he turned out. But the difference between Porzingis and Bender, there's a huge difference. When they had the workouts, everybody, literally everybody was impressed with Porzingis and his workout. But Bender doesn't really have the hype surrounded about him. And his stats, he didn't really put up, he only averaged like 5 points a game. And they said the reason why he only averaged that is because wherever he was playing, they don't really play the young guys. They play the older guys. So the young guys don't really get minutes. But either way, it's just not this. That's not Porzingis. So that was a very controversial selection there with the number 4 pick. Another notable pick, the Milwaukee Bucks select Thon Maker. The guy that they don't know how old he is. He's like a demigod. He's a 7-footer doing crossover moves. The Bucks are going to be looking like NBA 2K15 with all that length at the park, demigod cheese. But the Minnesota Timberwolves are huge winners with Chris Dunn. A lot of players, when they're in that contract year, they start balling like you've never seen. Like Kyle Lowry. When Lowry was in the contract year, he was looking like a boss. He was looking like a top 5 point guard. He was balling. Don't you remember Darren Williams in his contract year? Oh, he was putting on a show. Remember when they used to compare him to CP3 and how great